everyone, and welcome to the 30-Day Summit, where Russell Brunson has brought together a collection of his top 2 comma club and 8-figure award winners to share with you how they would literally survive and begin to rebuild their business in just 30 days if they lost it all. My name is Bailey Richard, and right now I'm delighted to be speaking with Akbar Sheikh. Akbar is a #1 international best-selling author, speaker, and master of the 7 ethical principles of persuasion, has helped 7 funnels hit 7 figures, is a father and philanthropist with a concentration on orphans and giving the gift of vision to blind children. Prior, he was homeless, overweight, in a terrible relationship, and suffered from a crippling anxiety disorder. He does what he does because he believes that entrepreneurs are inherently good people that want to make more revenue, thus they can give to their families, communities, and favorite charities, hence making the world a better place. Akbar is on a mission to use persuasion for good, helping people break through the ethical way. So Akbar, welcome to the summit.
Thank you. That was nice. Yeah. Wow. It's been a wild ride. I could never say anything like that like a year ago. I could never say anything close to that like a year ago. I was getting, wow, what a trip. It's actually interesting. I was getting calls. Last night I was really blessed and honored. Most of these charity organizations, they mostly, the more serious ones, they have what's called a, what do they call it? Not mega donor, like a, what do they call it? Basically like a mega donor, department where they deal with the higher end donors. And not too long ago, I literally get regular phone calls from debt collectors, cell phone, medical bills, this. I was so blessed yesterday. I was so touched. I almost cried. I was like, I actually got a call from a high donor director from one of the charities I support. They were just calling me because they have a dedicated rep for people who donate a little bit more. And it was such an honor. And, it's crazy. It's true. Actually, funnels made all this happen, which is really cool that we get to talk about this and how people just evolve. So yeah, anyway, hi, how are you?
It is pretty incredible what funnels have been able to change in each one of our lives. I definitely know that they've changed mine as well.
Yeah.
Pretty cool. All right, so let's get down to business and start talking about your 30-day plan. And I'd love to begin in week 1. You say that after taking a few days to sharpen your mental skills, you would pick a niche, identify a skill set you have that could solve a problem for people in that niche, and then you would spend days living in Facebook groups providing value. So I would love to learn more about this particular strategy, why you would want to do it, what your goal is in trying to do this, and also how you would do it. What's your approach?
I think I have a poster over here in my room. It says, the key to success is playing the hand you were dealt like it was the hand you wanted. And what's amazing is I say, look, your #1 resource is your resourcefulness. Take a look at what you have available to you. There's certain things all of us have available to us. And one of the most powerful things that we all have is this concept called reciprocity. Now, what's interesting about it is perhaps it's Mother Nature's way of rewarding us for being good or giving value first. The way reciprocity works is you go to someone in need of help. All right, let's just say, for example, you needed my help. You needed, you were about to have this big party tonight. You were flipping out. You need a great avocado dip recipe. Okay, and this party was really important to you. Well, guess what? I go in there and say, hey, by the way, listen, Bailey, you need 3 avocados, you need a little bit of lemon, a little bit of cilantro. Guess what? Secret ingredients, dice the onions and tomatoes really finely, mix it all up, put a little bit of lime juice. You're good. Now, guess what? You do that, you implement that, you have a great avocado dip, your party's a big success. Guess what? You love me so much right now that you're going to invite me to all your parties because that's human nature. That's how humans were built, is to reciprocate. If you get something, you naturally want to give a lot more. For example, my God, so many times, I've given my wife, for example, some flowers, which, don't cost a lot. I don't know, $20 to $40. And she's so touched by that. She wants to go, do something like make a gourmet dinner for everybody. Do you know what I mean? I was like, oh my God, all I did was spend $20 on a rose on my way home. That's human nature, and that's a very, very powerful thing. All you have to do is give a little bit, and I promise you'll get a lot back. Is that not how economics works? Is that not what you want to do? Don't you not want to invest a little bit and get a lot back? And Mother Nature does that with you via reciprocity. I take advantage of it very much so, and I highly encourage that you do as well.
So in these Facebook groups, how exactly are you engaging in this reciprocity?
That's very simplistic. It's very simplistic. For example, whatever your niche is, for example, I'm good at this like whole funnel game, right? So people have questions, like, dude, this isn't working. Why isn't my funnel working? No, I'm just telling them, hey, guess what? You have no social proof. Your social proof stinks. You have your testimony, some guy saying, hey, Bailey's cool. That's not a testimony. That stinks. That's terrible. You need a powerful testimony that will give, for example, people have webinar secrets. And man, my webinar is not converting. My number one secret is how to be cool. I'm like, dude, what? That's not a secret. That's terrible. Nobody wants to listen to that. You need to say like how to be the coolest kid on the block without having to fake it by being exactly yourself. Something that's, here's the thing, science is on your side. A lot of these things, scientifically, your mouth actually should be watering. When you read these webinar secrets or any of these kind of marketing messaging, your mouth should literally be watering. Physically, scientifically, your eyes should actually be dilating. That's how enticing it should be. But people's messaging, generally speaking, is so bland, So you give value. Look, everyone, God's given all of us gifts. You are awesome at something. So whatever that is, sprinkle that on people. If it's Facebook marketing, if it's pixels, if it's tech stuff, if it's funnel stuff, if it's persuasion, if it's sales, understand you're at a distinct unfair advantage when you go into these groups and all this stuff. 99% of people are doing what? They're asking. And guess what? You're the 1% who could be answering. And guess what? The 99% of people are looking up to the only 1% who's answering. So I mean, the stacks are the odds are stacked in your favor. You just gotta play that hand.
So you're building these relationships organically with people in these Facebook groups by offering value, and then others are starting to respect you and see you as an authority. So let's talk a little bit about monetization. You say that as early as day 9, you can start coaching others by setting up a simple opt-in funnel and then encouraging them to work with you by going through that funnel and setting up calls where eventually you will close them. So can you tell me a little bit more about that strategy?
Very easy, Bailey, very easy. I mean, again, it's back to human nature. Now, if you're in need, for example, if you're struggling, man, my funnel is really not converting. Oh man, this guy's proving that he is the authority in funnels. Well, guess what? I want to work with that guy because you've proven you're the authority. I have the need. You have the solution. That's where the relationship is. Naturally, regularly, people ask me, hey man, can you help me with this? Hey, do you have any coaching services? Hey, how can I work with you? Like people, wait a minute, I'm not paying a dime for that lead. I'm not putting any message out there. Organically, people are just coming to me because I am in the authority via just a pure, with a clean heart, just a pure value that I'm giving out there to generally just trying to help people and make the world a better place. But you'll get rewarded by people seeing that, hey, this is one of the only guys who knows what he's talking about because everyone else is just asking questions. These guys actually answer. And then they're naturally magnetized towards you.
Okay, well, I'd love to stay on this topic of coaching calls real quick because there was something else you mentioned in day 10 I thought was pretty interesting, and I'd like to ask you about it. You specifically say that you will encourage people to work with you for a discounted price if they would be interested in becoming a case study for you. So I'd love to hear more about this.
Based in human psychology, here's the thing. First of all, people don't have enough social proof. Social proof sells like crazy. I'm in the business of collecting social proof. I'm in the business of collecting case studies and testimonies. If I see you smiling, I'm saying, hey, Bailey, by the way, why are you smiling? I'm smiling because I like that thing you said. Okay, great. Can you film that? And let's just make a quick testimony. Tell me why I made you smile. Like I'm always being like, okay, like anytime I was like, dude, you helped me this. I'm like, okay, can I have a testimony, please? Can you just say that again? You know what I mean? Why? Number one, it makes me feel good. It makes me feel like I'm actually making a difference in the world, which is most important, which is the number one thing. Number two, it's very profitable. 70% of people don't make a buying decision unless they've seen someone else have a positive experience with you. Okay, so social proof is very important. Now, why am I saying offer a discount for a case study? It's very simple. Case study is worth a lot to you. So, say for example, your service is $2,500. So what you tell them is, look. And only do this if it's worth it. Say, hey, listen, my everyday price for this is $5,000. Okay. If you are ready to make a decision today, ethical scarcity, and you're ready to give me, and you can promise me in writing, makes it look official, that you're going to give me a complete case study when I get you the kind of results you're looking for, forward pacing, forward imaging, then I can actually knock off half of the investment, and it's only going to be $2,500. No-brainer deal. There's like 5 ethical principles of persuasion in there. Now, here's another thing. People inherently, they don't want something for free. Believe it or not. Believe it or not, they actually don't. They want to give you something, but they just don't want to give you as much as they're getting back. So when you tell them that, hey, I'm going to give you something, but in return, I just want a case study. They're like, yeah, dude, case study, that's nothing. Of course, yeah, sure. I'll make you the best case study in the world. I'll do you that favor. That's not costing me anything. But they feel like they're doing me a favor, right? And they feel like, yes, okay, this is a great deal for me. All I got to do is film something, and he's gonna give me the half off this awesome deal. Deal made. I mean, I have filmed. I've recorded my calls where people are just like, dude, and I quote like, absolutely yes. They're just like, yes. Do you know what I mean? Because we've combined all those ethical principles of persuasion into that closing technique, it works like a charm.
Makes a ton of sense. So at this point in your 30-day plan, you now have a couple of clients and a little bit of money rolling in the door, but you say that in week 3, it's time to get even more aggressive about getting the word out there about yourself and your services. However, still using organic methods. You mentioned podcasts and also even partnering with the admins of certain Facebook groups that are full of your ideal clients in order to do things like Facebook Lives in their groups and stuff like that. So I would love to hear more about your thoughts on these particular strategies and what you can be doing organically in week 3 in order to bring about some visibility around you and your business.
Bailey, that's a wonderful question. People need to understand something. When someone's featured on a podcast, like, oh, wow, dude must be a big deal. That's just a perceived notion, but understand this. Every Tom, Dick, and Harry right now is trying to open a podcast, and a lot of them are trying to have shows every day. There's only so many people out there who are actually capable of being interviewed. Remember, 99% of people are asking, only 1% are giving. These people need guests. And if you're awesome at something, then they need you. People just don't understand that. So many podcasts, I just reached out to people. Now I have a podcast manager who just gets me any amount of podcasts I want, but anybody can get to that level. We used to be homeless. So start by reaching out, telling a little bit. I mean, I really like my intro that you said. That was really nice. I think we wrote that with my team. And I say that from a blessed point of view that, wow, because it's just it's such a trip to me. I mean, I used to be homeless, and now we can say all these cool things and make such a positive impact. But the truth is, anybody can do it. And people want to hear your message. Like, no one's going to want to interview you if you're just like, oh, I do Facebook marketing because I like it and I'm okay at it. Like, nobody cares. Like, no one wants to interview you for that. Like, you need something behind you. You need a why. Like, I always tell people, you need a why that makes you cry. So podcasts want to interview, number one. Number two, Facebook groups want engagement. They want to give content. They want to give out. Hey, present yourself. Say, hey, I noticed your group. They want to, let's just say, I don't know, whatever you are, you're in the health niche. Hey, I noticed your group's asking a lot of questions about keto diet. They're not really getting a lot of good answers. I actually specialize in that. I'd love to have an interview in your group. More than likely, I can tell you they're going to say yes. I'm telling you from experience, when people come up to me with a good, clean proposal, most of the time I say yes. Now, the problem is people have no idea how to talk, right? For example, a guy will go in a group and say, hey, man, I'm looking for a great Facebook marketer, or I'm looking for a great someone to build a funnel for me, right? And everybody will respond, all the other funnel builders. They'll be like, oh, pick me, I can do it. Pick me, I can do it. I can help. Useless. It's like, I hate, you see these Facebook posts, right? It's like, hey, let's follow each other on Instagram. And everyone just puts their link. You have 1,000 people putting up their link. What kind of maniac is sitting there clicking on these random links following you? I can tell you it's not happening. Now, what's a lot more powerful is you say, hey, follow me on Instagram. 3 times a week, I'm giving you golden nuggets on how we're scaling 7 businesses to 7 figures, or whatever it is that, that's just a formula. Fill in your own blank, or follow me for 3 special keto health tips, or 3 Facebook techniques that are crushing it a day. Entice them, give them a reason to follow you. Do you see what I'm saying? So yes, it's very easy. Look, honestly, this game is for the taking. No matter what niche you're in, you can easily be on podcasts. You can easily be #1 international best-selling authors. You can easily be on any groups. It's just a matter of wanting it and taking it and asking for it. It really is.
Well, you're very inspirational, so I hope other people will definitely take a page out of your book and try to pursue some of these opportunities, podcasts, and partnerships with group admins and things like that. But we do need to keep moving on in your 30-day plan, so I would love to keep going to the final week where you talk about how you can take the information that you're sharing with others in your one-on-one coaching calls and actually turn it into a course. Now, we have lots of summit speakers who have mentioned that they would go about doing practically the same thing, but I would still love to hear your specific ideas and premise around the strategy involved in creating and launching this course.
Bailey, courses are very sexy. It's a very beautiful blessing in our lives. Honestly, it's, my God, you film a few things, you put it on a platform, and you charge a good amount of money, and people benefit from that. My God, we just launched a course recently, getting all these case studies, all these great testimonies, impacting all these lives. It's so simplistic to just film your expertise, put it in an organized fashion, communicate with your following in your Facebook group. It's not a huge time commitment. It's very profitable. I highly encourage everyone to do it. You got to do it at the right time. You got to have a following. You got to have some authority. You got to listen. It took me a year to launch my first course. Okay, a year of collecting all this sort of stuff: awards, best-selling books, being on top podcasts. Everything I did was by design, by the way. I wanted to get all these awards, all these recognitions, all these case studies by design. The whole year, the plan was to launch a course and using all this authority to launch that course. So I did all this stuff systematically. Now I'm very much enjoying what I can call the course life, which is very gratifying, very satisfying, and very profitable.
Okay, one of the things that you talk about pretty heavily in your 30-day plan is how you would use a webinar funnel in order to promote this course. So I'm just curious as to why specifically you would focus on a webinar funnel, and any thoughts that you would like to share with us about that strategy.
Very difficult to sell a high-ticket item, anything other than a webinar funnel. It's difficult. It's possible, but it's difficult. When you're asking for a good amount of money, you need to spend a good amount of time convincing them it's worth it. Going through the whole psychological dance, right? The whole intro, what to expect, where I was before, where I was after. This is the vehicle that'll take you there. Here are the testimonies. It's a whole dance where I need to spend an hour convincing you to buy my product. And you need that. And the most powerful way and the most proven way to do that is via a webinar. You can try to do some other things depending on the cost of depending on the cost of your course. You can try to throw up a landing page, throw up some testimonies, throw up some social proof, and get them to call a salesperson. And then the salesperson can spend like 40 minutes on the phone doing that webinar. But why not automate it? Why not automate it and not have to worry about the sales team? And finding an ethical sales team is a freaking nightmare, by the way. These guys are sharks, generally speaking. I don't like dealing with them. I'll be totally honest with you. They'll say, a lot of these guys will say anything to sell to anyone, even if they just because they have the money doesn't mean, just because you have the money, just because we can sell anything to anyone doesn't mean that we should. When you master these ethical principles of persuasion, in all honesty, you can sell anything to anyone. You can sell the paint off the wall, but that doesn't mean you should. Matter of fact, you shouldn't. You should really let them decide that on their own and not play with their minds. So I like the webinar a lot. It works very well. It's very automated, and it's just a beautiful, streamlined thing.
I agree. You might not need a webinar for a $97 product like you were just saying, but for those people who really want to automate their sales processes, there's really nothing better than using that webinar strategy where you can really take the time to, through an automatic process, sit down essentially with your prospect and actually guide them through the entire sales process.
And listen, you can get a sales team off the bat commission only. But again, I don't recommend it. But again, your number one resource is your resourcefulness. So you can get a lot of these things, but I don't recommend it. And then you're talking about $97 courses versus, I say don't waste your time. Personally, I've been doing high ticket since I was homeless. Matter of fact, being high ticket took me out of homelessness. Everyone's got the same amount of hours in a day. A plumber, the guy who plumbs, or the guy who owns the plumbing company has the same amount of hours in the day. The electrician, the guy who owns the electrician, the funnel builder, and the guy who owns the product suite, they all have the same amount of hours in a day. Don't undervalue yourself. I noticed the vast majority of people are undervaluing themselves, and you're worth at least double what you're charging. I can promise you that. Understand this. You have to charge according to the size of the problem you're solving. Now, if you're having, for example, if you have a little, like a hangnail or something, I can only charge you a couple of dollars to take care of that. It's not the end of the world. You can take care of it real quick. But if you're having if your business is struggling and you have tried everything to break through and you can't break through, and I'm proven that I can help you break through and finally hit your goals and redo things so you can actually be profitable. That's a big problem I'm solving. I can now charge accordingly. So I think people really need to keep that in mind and understand what you're worth.
A very valuable lesson I think we could all take to heart. Akbar, it's been an absolute pleasure chatting with you on this interview today, but we are coming close to the end of our time. But before we wrap up, I definitely want to make sure I give you an opportunity to share any final thoughts with our audience before we go.
Listen, I'll tell you something bold. I'm somebody who's lost 50 pounds organically. Nothing fancy, just eating good and lightly exercising. If someone's of normal health, meaning they don't have a thyroid issue or something, listen to this. It is scientifically impossible not to lose weight if you just follow a slightly better eating regimen and a light exercise routine. Scientifically impossible. The exact same thing goes for an online business. It is virtually impossible not to succeed if you don't give up, which I gave up for 10 years. I had 10 years of failing businesses primarily because I gave up each time. And you're doing certain things every day to take your business forward. Those exact things are things I mentioned in the 30-day plan. I happen to know a lot of these people who are part of this 30-day plan project. They're all very genuine. They're all very intelligent. They gave you their hearts. I gave you my heart. Follow these instructions. It will work. There's nothing in it for me. I'm telling you from my heart, it absolutely will work. Another thing I'll tell you, one of my top secrets is not some pixel, not some funnel hack, not some podcast trick or whatever. My number one secret for success, from going to homeless to a top 1% global earner, is to give, is to keep on giving. You don't have money, give time. You don't have time, call your mom, make her smile. Just keep giving, and I promise you the world will just give you back so much more. Have a clean heart, go with clean intentions, do things ethically, and really thank God you're so blessed right now. The world's a crazy place right now. You don't even know, believe me. Other parts of the world, there's hell going on. People are dying of starvation, famine, disease, wars, natural disasters. It's hell out there. We're peachy clean. I mean, we're living the life in first world countries. We are so blessed to have online businesses. I've been in many different businesses. The sexiest business model in the world is an online business. It is such a blessing. Do not be your own worst enemy and give up, because this is the life right here. And there's no reason you can't attain anything you want in it.
Fantastic words of wisdom, Akbar. Thank you so much for sharing all of that incredible value as a part of this interview. For those of you watching at home, before we go, I have a quick question for you. Do you feel that now you're ready to begin your own 30-day journey to success? Well, then I have something incredible I want to tell you about. It's called the One Funnel Away Challenge. You can click the button on this page to learn more, but essentially, you are going to have an opportunity to craft your own personalized and customized 30-day plan to success, working with the direct help, guidance, and input of a ClickFunnels 2 Club coach. And when you join the program, you're also going to be snagging some truly incredible, out of this world valuable bonuses, including the 30 Days book, a physical bound book, which is a collection of all of the 30-day plans written by all of the different speakers featured as a part of this summit, plus unlimited access to the interview with Akbar that you just watched and all of the rest of the summit speakers on this summit. Plus, and this is actually my favorite part, you're going to be getting access to a second interview that I did with every single speaker on this summit, where they're showing me via screen share how they've actually set up their award-winning 2 Club funnels. Like I said, the value is absolutely out of this world, so make sure you click the button on this page and check it out today. The One Funnel Away Challenge is something you definitely don't want to miss. Akbar, one more time, just wanted to say thank you so much for being a part of this summit. We really appreciate it.
Thanks. Peace.